That little clip right there is the essence of the Gibby show. This episode, this pilot episode, is just straight chaos from start till finish. I mean, hell, in the opening scene for the episode, it starts off with Gibby's weasel, or ferret, they call it a weasel. This was all set up in iCarly Season 6. Bites the butt of his teacher and then Principal Franklin's cock. That is how they start the Gibby show. Now, you might be lost, depending on who you are out there, depending on your knowledge of iCarly lore. You're probably wondering what the hell I'm talking about. Well, in 2012, Schneider's Bakery, the company that brought us iCarly, Zoe 101, well, all you have to... Oh my gosh. Pitched 2 shows to Nickelodeon, which were to be spin-offs of iCarly, that being Sam and Cat and The Gibby Show. As you guys already know, Sam and Cat came out and had like 1 season. It was like 2 seasons worth of episodes, but 1 season. But there's also a pilot episode made for The Gibby Show, which is just a Gibby-focused spin-off show. And this pilot episode had eluded us for quite some time. Nobody had ever seen it, and that's because Nickelodeon decided not to go for it, just do Sam and Cat. But in October of 2023, just last year when I'm recording this video, the entire pilot episode got leaked, like a full edited version that was probably shown to Nickelodeon executives. Basically what you would have seen on TV was completely leaked. In 2021, the entire script for it was leaked, so people knew what this was about, and we had a couple of screenshots of the episode. It was still kind of elusive, but the full thing is here now, and it's been met with pretty much universal hate. It is insane. Nobody wanted to see this. Nobody liked the idea of this, it seems like. And especially after the script getting leaked, people were like, okay, I can see why this was skipped over. But personally, I don't think that a Gibby spin-off show is necessarily a bad idea. Look, we are very familiar with spin-off shows of comedic relief characters not going so well. You got The Joey Show, Planet Sheen. I know there's others out there, but a common criticism with Gibby's character in iCarly is that he devolved over time. He was, okay, let's be honest, he was always insanely weird, but over the course of the show, slowly lost some of his charm and seemed less and less like a real person. When you're taking a comedic relief character from an established show and you're giving them their own spin-off where they're the lead, these characters generally tend to change. They're now the leading character and have to kind of be a straight man to the rest of the show. Now, this can be a downfall of the show. That was a big criticism with the Friends spinoff Joey, is that Joey lost his charm and his like comedic value when he had to become the straight man. He became a lot more boring, a lot more cynical, and people didn't like that. They completely changed his character for that show. But it had to be done because he was the main character. But think about it this way, since Gibby's main criticism is that over time he became less and less of a real character and more of just the butt of a joke, they could kind of use this as an opportunity to reverse his character progression in a good way. Make him the straight man, still make him very Gibby and very goofy, but give him those traits that he had beforehand that made him seem more like a real person. I think this would be one of the few instances where taking a comedic relief character and giving them a spin-off show could have gone well and had a lot of potential. Because if they handled this correctly, you could basically redeem Gibby's character. That did not end up happening. I showed you a clip at the beginning of the video. I told you what happens at the beginning of the episode. I'm going to show you some clips later, and it's one of the most chaotic episodes of any TV show that I've ever seen. There is only a hint of making Gibby a real character and making him the straight man, but it's mostly more like iCarly Season 5 and 6 Gibby, just giving him more to say and do. In this pilot episode, the setup is that Gibby defends a group of 4 misfits from the middle school wing of his high school that he goes to. They were getting bullied in the schoolroom cafeteria. Gibby stands up for them, say that they're his friends to defend them because Gibby's really popular, he's a part of iCarly. The bullies back down, and the 4 middle schooler misfit kids are really grateful and ask Gibby to hang out later at a local recreation center, Bixby's. Gibby, not wanting to be a liar and wanting to be nice to these kids, agree to hang out with them until 6 p.m. at this recreational center after school. Gibby really doesn't want to be there, he's kind of reluctant to hang out with them, but he feels bad for them, decides to try and teach them to be more confident, get people to like them, and at the end of the episode, Gibby actually ends up getting a job there, so that was going to be the setup for the show, is that you got these 4 kids and Gibby coming to this recreational center, Gibby works there. That's about the entire setup. But anyways, when Gibby was closing up for the night, 2 robbers came in, wanted to steal all the money. This is a very common trait in Dan Schneider shows. It just happens all the time. The characters get caught up in some sort of robbery. That's exactly what happened here. And with her newfound confidence, the kids come back to defend Gibby, take back Bixby's, and they take off their shirts. It's pretty weird. I will say, though, it was an interesting character moment for Gibby because this was the first time that he's taken off his shirt since iPsycho, which I believe was in season 3 of iCarly, and they kind of made it a big deal in later iCarly that he doesn't take off his shirt anymore, and then he does it here. So okay, this is really weird, but in a way, this is a big character moment for Gibby. Like he's becoming like savage. I don't know how to say this without it sounding weird. Like Savage Gibby again. He goes like full iPsycho mode. You know, when Gibby takes off his shirt in that episode and fights Nora. It's just a weird moment, but it's kind of poetic. Okay, that seems like a normal show. I just kind of gave a brief overview of what the plot is, but in the middle of that is just insanely out of pocket jokes. Definitely put, Dan Schneider style, pushing the envelope of what you can do on kids' TV. Dude, it was just weird. I'm gonna go ahead here. Let's do a little montage. Instead of me explaining these jokes to you, I'm going to play some of these moments, like my top 5 or whatever moments of the episode that were just completely out of pocket and weird.
Well, okay, let's all hang. Sure. What do you guys like to do after school?
Most of our parents work, but not with Mom. She just put her job because she's having trouble getting pregnant. I told you that was secret.
Impossible. Because I already have plans.
Oh, come on. We're going to try a double upside-down cartwheel together. I told you to put sunscreen on those 2 little boards outside and to fill the basketballs with air.
I agree with that.
No, you put sunscreen on the basketballs and look at how we're doing. So much pressure.
You know, you are not that looking.
I'm 24 and I have a boyfriend.
I'm 16 and I have a weasel.
You are right next to me.
You feel the heat? Yeah, that's a good one.
And since that's basically the entire episode, like I said, it has, in a description level, a normal plot for a kid's TV show. It was just filled with a bunch of nonsense, and that was it. That, coupled with the de-evolution of Gibby's character in iCarly Season 6, that whole show kind of being on a decline anyways, people did not take fondly to the Gibby show. When the script leaked, and especially when the pilot episode came out. I'm not gonna lie, the show's weird. I mean, it definitely could have been better. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that it had a lot of potential. I think that a Gibby show could be cool. I still kind of like this. I don't know. It's just very jarring to see new iCarly content, new old iCarly content, this far into the future. This is 12 years ago. And me being my nostalgic self, I just thought it was kind of cool to see old iCarly content that I had never seen before, because I had rewatched the show over and over again, including Sam and Cat. And it's even different from watching the iCarly reboot. This is really just taking us on a time machine, going back to that moment in time. So I won't lie, I laughed a few times while watching this, and I generally had a good time. I don't think it would have made for a good show, but I think this one-off episode was enjoyable enough. If you are an iCarly fan and you are nostalgic for that show and that time, I recommend giving this a watch. Just look up iCarly pilot on YouTube. I'm not going to have it in the description or anything. I don't know how Nickelodeon's dealing with this whole copyright thing. I know a couple of them have gotten taken down, but they seem to have given up. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to take a gamble with this video with, playing footage of the show. And Gibby was one of my favorite characters in iCarly. I know he gets a bad rep for, the later seasons, but let's not act like he's not the man. He's not that guy. But even so, I can see why this didn't get picked up, why we didn't get a full season of this show, and why this was never shown to anybody ever until now. But that's about it. I didn't want to go into the nitty-gritty of it. I just wanted to give my overall thoughts. I think it's a fun episode. Would have been a bad show. overall, a lot of missed potential. I also saw some comments on the intro for the show because they had a little, TV intro in there. And it's just them saying, Gibby, 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 Gibby. And it really just has what somebody in the comments said, like a YouTube poop style editing. It's very true. So I saw a lot of people shitting on that, but if I'm being completely honest, I'm pretty sure it was just a placeholder, because in that style of TV show, they would usually have like a minute-long intro with a theme song and clips of the characters from various episodes. Since this didn't get picked up and there was only the one episode, they couldn't even make an intro like that, so it would have been impossible. I don't know if that was going to be the I could see them like making that the final intro, but I guess we don't know if they were going to do that or not.